What? It says your live stream shut down unexpectedly. Did you see that?
No, it says it's live for me right now.
Okay. Should be live. Can anyone say hi if you can hear us in the chat? Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Well, the
We're on.
private chat.
Yes. Kevin, can you see the chat, the Q&A? In the community event link that I just sent you in Slack.
Oh. Community events link. Where did you send me the link? Oh, right here. I see it. Let
me do that again. This is a private chat.
It's saying register.
Okay, I think we're on.
But I don't see a list of questions, if that's what you're asking. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the patience. I'll give an intro real quick, but we're in. Okay. Welcome, everyone. This is morning 9 a.m. from San Francisco, California. Welcome. Today's webinar is around one of our HeyGen's popular products, interactive avatar. My name is Chloe, solution engineer from HeyGen for the go-to-market team. Joining me today is Kevin for the first time from the interactive avatar team. Kevin, do you want to give yourself an introduction?
Hey guys, nice to meet you all. I'm a product manager at HeyGen. I recently started working on the interactive avatar product, so excited to join this webinar and learn more about how you guys are planning on using interactive avatar and how we can make the product better for you all. So excited to get going.
Okay, and so just to set thanks for the intro. So just to set the expectations for today's webinar will be running approximately 45 minutes. I will give a rough 20 minutes about a demo around interactive avatar, what the product looks like, how to use it, what's the use cases, and if you are looking to integrate via API and SDK, what are the way of integrating it. And lastly, we will follow up with the Q&A sessions, take one by one from the question in the chat box. So feel free to drop your question there if you have any question along the way. Housekeeping rules, this session will be recorded. You are happy to replay afterwards. And like we said, we'll address the Q&A at the end. So let's dive right in. Let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen, Kevin? Yep. So within this homepage, you will log into HeyGen's homepage in the HeyGen Labs for interactive avatar. Here you can see we have pre-trained a list of interactive avatar use cases where we pre-built the avatar templates for common uses case like L&D training, interview, customer support, role-playing, therapists, or even like a product knowledge trainer like Interactive Avatar 101. Yeah. And this other example, feel free to, it's free and you can feel free to chat with them to see what the experience will like. And however, here, public avatar, we have a list of stock avatar where we hire professional to shoot the video footage in the studio and build a custom interactive avatar around it. Where I've seen this most useful is when customers don't want to create a custom interactive avatar, they will usually just leverage this public avatar for free. And then For example, if I were to choose maybe this one, use this public avatar and specify the language that I want her to speak in, and select the knowledge base, which I will touch point later, and then start chatting with her. The knowledge base will contain all the contextual information for your interactive avatar to talk about to your audience or to your users. Here you can edit the current knowledge base. Here I created a knowledge base around a specific product for DocuSign. You can give this knowledge base an opening intro. So the way I think about knowledge base is I would consider that as a prompt to give to LLM. And the LLM is basically the brain behind the avatar. And the avatar is basically the visual layer around that LLM. Feel free to ask any questions, Kevin, if you are like on behalf of the users or customers, if you see that this doesn't make sense. And another cool feature that I like about setting up knowledge base is use for link. You can basically just dropping in any website's links, any information contextual link that once dropping, HeyGen will automatically script all the information on that website and condense it as part of the knowledge base. In addition to all of that, you can, of course, specify a full prompt like you would give it to ChatGPT, and we give you a very detailed guide on how to write a good prompt. Tips are here to give you a step-by-step guide on how to write a prompt for interactive avatar. And once you specify the knowledge base, you can then copy paste this knowledge base ID in the when you set it up integration with API or SDK, which we can talk about later. And so if you click chat now, this will be like a real-time interaction with this avatar with the knowledge base that we just configure.
Chloe, just FYI, we can't hear the sound expected.
I think I have to, okay, it's always tricky. I have to share my screen as a tab. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yep, no worries. Take your time. Want me to walk you through how adapt?
You can hear now. Well, anyway, I guess the point here is
sharing a screen as a tab sounds like
all the public avatars here are free to try, and there are 3 different ways I would say to leverage this interactive avatar. One is that you can share this link with the knowledge base that you specify for this avatar, share it with your customers, your users, or share it in the emails for someone to try on. Or you can embed this, basically a code snippet, into your front-end HTML page as an embeddable widget on your website. So all pretty straightforward. Kevin, do you have any questions? Nope. And I don't think I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was asking in the chat what's the use case that everyone's thinking about using interactive avatar for. So I'm excited to see some answers flowing in.
Of course. We've seen customers who just goes beyond our imagination of use cases about this 10 that listed here and really create a really cool projects and website. So interested to hear all of your ideas. And like I said, if you want to create a custom avatar, interactive avatar, you can hop over this session and then following the instruction here, all it needs is really just 2 to 5 minutes of training footage of yourself following a guideline on how to film it. And then upload the footage and agree to the consents, and you will have your digital twin lifelike avatar of yourself created. Knowledge base, we talked about this early, but here in the knowledge base, I want to address that you have unlimited amount of the knowledge base you can create at HeyGen. It's free. Every streaming session only allows one interactive avatar ID and one knowledge base associated with it. And of course, you can also swap out the knowledge base per avatar. We're going to demonstrate this interactive avatar one-on-one later on. It's mainly about what's the product and how to set it up and what's the use case. How can you leverage it? And here in the last session, integration guide, like we said, we have 3 ways to integrate. One is a shareable link. It's a redirect experience that you can host. You can use this HeyGen's hosted link with the avatar in it and share it with the users. You can also embed it. And lastly, a more pro code approach is to use the API integration. And let's go over this streaming API integration. I guess I did not share. So clicking at the API from the integration guide itself, it will redirect you to our main docs.heygen.com. It's where our API reference docs lives. The session you are looking at, you should be looking for is the streaming API. So from create new sessions, start a streaming session to send tasks, close session, or interrupt the task. There are different ways you can leverage the streaming API. One is, of course, the native integrations by talking to our communicate with our streaming API itself by those lists of endpoints. And the other way is to use our SDK. I would consider this as a lighter coding approach, lighter in terms of like efforts of integration and development. It's lighter than directly integrate with our API. Essentially mainly because it's built around our streaming API and with additional interfaces like key features. For example, if I click on the SDK API reference, you will have all those interfaces that are available in the SDK in addition to the streaming API. So you can start avatar request. You can send a speak request. You can start a voice chat or text chat, which I can show you quickly in a demo. And on our GitHub repository, we have a quick starter web app application sprite written in Next.js around SDK. And to demonstrate how this GitHub repository works, you will just click clone it on your local, which I did. So let me run it on my local host and get started. Like you see here, I have set it up. I have cloned the GitHub repository and then run it on my localhost 3000. Here you can see that with the SDK approach, it allows you, it gives you more control on how to configure your interactive avatar, including the knowledge base you want this avatar to specialize in and give answers to your users. You can also choose the avatar ID. And in this example, I will use ID. Oh, I guess you cannot see my screen. Okay, so what I did is just copy paste the avatar ID of our co-founder, and every avatar ID, well, at least the train ID will come with the default knowledge base associated with this. But of course, I can swap out the knowledge base, like I said, and paste it here. Same way you would configure this via an API request in JSON format, I configure this in the UI itself, and I can specify the avatar quality, the WebSocket communications in LiveKit, or a voice ID if you want to swap out the voice if you think that the voice doesn't seem quite right. And of course, it's too technical to dive in there, but we give you the flexibility to configure STT model that you want. By default, we use DeepGram. And this start voice chat and start text chat are features that are built in from the SDK interface. Let me know if you can't hear Kevin. Hi, Wayne.
Hey there. I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it?
Okay. It's funny. When I was tested, it's like half an hour ago. It does give me an intro, but let me go back in. I would start again.
Welcome to HeyGen. I'm your interactive avatar guide here to help you explore real-time interactive avatars. Let's dive in. What do you want to know first?
As a new user, how can I get started with HeyGen's interactive avatar? Can you tell me a little bit more about how to set up?
Oh, sure. To get started, just visit the HeyGen site and click on New Avatar. You'll follow the steps to upload your footage. Need help with anything specific?
How to set it up integration with the streaming API?
To integrate with the streaming API, first create your interactive avatar, then use the API to connect. You can check out our docs for more details. Have you created an avatar yet?
So I guess the point I want to deliver here is, so because we are in the live streaming, the performance and latency may not be perfect, but you are welcome to try our GitHub repository and play around with all the public avatar and knowledge base. With the SDK, we have this interface that are all included, including the voice chat, text chat, and then the chat dialogues that can display in the text format like this. But of course, you can also like reproduce it to meet your UI UX requirement and your use cases, and build your own interface, your UI. Yep. I guess that's it for the demo. Let's see what question we have.
So I've been answering some questions here. I think most of them should have been answered. If I miss anything, please feel free to drop in the chat again. I think there's one from Dissolve Lab. Do you guys have any chat groups for help solving or creativity? I'm guessing the question here is, do we have any kind of like community groups for just interactive avatar users? We do have a community forum. I think that might be what you're looking for here. I think they're probably like users posting about that. So I can share the link to the forum here.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem. Here we go. There you go, Dissolve Lab. Lots of questions. I love it.
Yeah. Sometimes we get the best high quality of questions from new users, new perspective in a webinar like this. And
yeah, I'm curious what other, I think I've seen Dissolve Lab, there's which is using it for 4x narration. I'm curious, like what other use cases for the audience that are watching this are planning on using interactive avatar for? Drop them in the comments. Let us know. I see real estate. I'm guessing real estate wizard,
nice.
Nios. I'm not sure what use case he's thinking about, but he's talking about going on the live stream with the avatars. So we don't, we talked about this earlier in the chat, but we don't support this natively. But you probably can build your own. I think like with our SDK or API, you can probably engineer something that goes live on Zoom. I think it's gonna take a bit of engineering. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have that native function
on Zoom that you said.
Yes.
Yeah, previously there were some efforts in developing that, but our team found out with Zoom integration, it adds additional layer of latency. So we kind of deprecated, and we might prioritize it again in the future, but right now we don't have that.
Yep. Okay, so we have Chloe, do you want to take this one? What are the different plans for interactive avatar?
Questions. So so we have two types. This is how our pricing structures works. We have two types of plan. One is for the web app, HeyGen web app that you see. The other one is API pricing. So you have 3 tiers. You can always get started with free or pro to just try out. And it's consumption based, meaning that you will consume as you go. Like, for example, you buy 100 credits per month for the pro plan, and you can have for one API credit, it's equivalent to 5 minutes of streaming session. You can have enough of credit to build out a POC. Of course, I've seen Scale Plan is one of the most popular beside Enterprise. So Scale, a lot of startup company will start at this plan. And if you are a company size of like maybe 100, 200 more, you are encouraged to talk to our enterprise for more custom pricing package. So I'll drop the link in here.
So I see some other questions here. So Dissolve Lab said legal matching service. I need the avatar to be trained on a specific constitution. I'm guessing this is probably satisfiable by just like uploading whatever document you have to the knowledge base. So Dissolve Lab, again, this is kind of similar to what we discussed in the chat. I think whatever knowledge that you have that you need an avatar to be able to answer, to be aware of, I think you can just leverage the knowledge base to like upload the link or just paste in whatever context you need, and I think that should be sufficient. Okay, so next question is from Joe Thomas. What about answering calls? Answering calls. I'm not sure. Are you talking about like phone calls, or kind of like video calls, or because I think the typical I guess like use case in terms of like answering calls, like for example, some customer will set up like some kind of like SDR, not SDR, but more so kind of like receptionist, AI receptionist, similar to kind of like the Wayne demo that Chloe showed earlier, in terms of having someone that knows about the business and has the knowledge about the business and knowledge base, and then when customer wants to talk to someone, they can basically get connected with that avatar and kind of have a conversation. So I think that's probably the extent of like answering calls. But if you're talking about like answering a phone call, that's not really part of like what we do. If you're talking about kind of like audio only calls, so that will be outside kind of like our, I guess, like kind of core area of competency. So. All right, you need unlimited because for lead collection that is a bit high. Yeah, so this is, I guess, like a piece of feedback for our pricing model. Something that I think we will consider, but at least for now, I think this is the model that we are, the pricing model that we are testing with right now. But yeah, again, nothing's forever, so I think there's a chance that it might change. But again, like that's this kind of consumption based model is like what we have so far. Okay, yeah, Joe clarified he's talking about open calls. So, all right, Joe has another question. Can you explain more about the integration on websites? Chloe, feel free to take this one. But
a website?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Joe, is there any I guess like context that you can provide? I think this is probably similar to what Chloe just walked through in terms of leveraging the SDK and the API to build like a kind of like your own app with interactive avatar. But I think like one scenario is, I'm guessing for people with landing pages, they might want maybe like Chloe, maybe like iframe or something to embed the interactive avatar so users can talk to it. So I'm guessing that might be the use case Joe was talking about without having more context from him.
Yeah, Joe, do you want to clarify yourself so we can address the question better?
Like, what kind of website are you talking about, Joe? Is it like an app that that you're building, like a SaaS app, or is it just like a landing page for your business that's like kind of like static? Haven't heard from Joe, so not sure.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to bring this up that we also have an API officer if you have specific questions about debugging, troubleshooting on how to integrate with our interactive avatar. I host it every other Wednesday, the same time.
So Chloe, Joe did respond. He said real estate. So my guess is he has a real estate landing page website, static. That's my guess. Again, very limited information here, so I'm doing the best I can. And my guess is he wants to put like an interactive avatar on his real estate like landing page website. What would be the best way to, I guess, like for users?
Yeah. So the most low code approach will be using the embed option that I should show you. Basically, you will just take a code snippet directly from our website, copy paste it, which contains the avatar ID, the knowledge base ID, and you can plug that in as the iframe into your static page website. If you want to take this to the next level, you are welcome to integrate with the API and SDK, but you will have to have like a clear requirements of what design looks like for front end and back end. it's more pro code approach. I've seen customers take both options.
Makes sense. Hopefully that answers your question, Joe. So there's a piece of code snippet that you can use to embed onto your website, whatever you use to build your kind of like landing page or website for your real estate business. So. All right. Any other questions?
What are the use cases? I guess, Kevin, do you know what are the typical use cases that people brought up in the chat today?
So today, I mean, not a ton of use cases from the chat today, but just maybe kind of talking through some of the popular use cases that I've seen. I think training is a very popular use case. Kind of like a lot of different flavors of training. For example, like sales training for companies. Basically, you can build like an interactive avatar that's simulating kind of like, maybe some big accounts that you're trying to go after, and you have your salesperson do training calls with this interactive avatar. So I think that's probably one of the most popular use cases that we've seen. There's also kind of like other types of training, for example, just like general like learning and development training. I think language training is actually another pretty interesting one that users like to build with HeyGen's interactive avatar, just because I think there's an interactive component to it, but also I think with our video translation, the avatar can also speak a lot of different languages. So I think that's another pretty interesting one. Customer support, I think that's probably Copian.ai. Yep, this is one of our customers that have done a
real case study. Our existing customer that uses our interactive avatar. Copian.ai is one of the customers that uses it for AI role play. For sales training, feel free to explore this website and to give you some inspiration of what this could look like. Another customer is Get It AI. What they do is essentially they wanted to have a lifelike AI agent to guide the user with their e-commerce shopping experience. So if I click on this, you will see that this is their co-founder, and this is using our interactive avatar.
Chloe, just FYI.
Okay, well, yeah, that's. I just want to quickly demo it, but you can feel free to try it out. And then the other one is for training. This is also our customer using our interactive avatar. They make this as a floating iframe on their website. So this widget will be floating in the corner of their website, guiding user to prep the exams and as a tutoring. This is another startup company that I met with other event using interactive avatar. They embed our public so they essentially embed our public interactive avatar as a customer support to address some of the basic questions on their web. Okay, there were an avatar, but this is not here right now. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so that's my few examples of how people can integrate with this product. Kevin, thank you so much for joining this webinar. And if we don't have any other questions, I guess this is it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for joining and learn about the interactive avatar. We'll see you next week.